This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Jayalalitha demands a pink slip for Dayanidhi Maran as a new controversy erupts in the 2G spectrum scam, but Maran and telecom major Maxis deny charges.
So Mr. Dayanidhi Maran should resign from the cabinet and face legal proceedings.
I think it requires a serious investigation.
Amma writes to Dr. Manmohan Singh asking him for more kerosene allocation for the state. The mismatch between demand and supply is taking its toll on the PDS. Amma starts delivering on her promises. She rolls out the free 20-kilogram free rice package aimed at the over 2 crore people in the state. In the struggle for smooth power supply in the state, the Chief Minister promises to weed out corruption within the TNEB department.
We were supplying quality power, uninterrupted power, round the clock to all consumers.
Could the actual last day for former DGP R. Nataraj turn out to be the start of a new innings? The Central Administrative Tribunal could have new plans for him. A shocking World Health Organization study revelation says cell phones could be a reason for the big C. And for 14 long years, she refused to wear them, but after getting a earful from her party cadres, the bling is back for Jayalalitha. Hello and welcome to the late night news on NDTV Hindu with me, Evelyn Matthew. In the next 30 minutes, there's all of the politics, the scam headliners, the promises by the governments in charge, and the neck-and-neck sporting stories. Before all of that, the national and the world headlines for you. Top ministers meet Baba Ramdev at the Delhi airport, say they will continue dialogue, but the yoga guru has not called off the fast. CBI sources say Dayanidhi Maran could be questioned in the 2G scam. The BJP minister says that Prime Minister should sack Maran if he doesn't quit. Concerned after Fukushima, Dr. Manmohan Singh asks for the world's best nuclear safety precautions at India's plants. David Headley planned to make money from a film and a book after 26/11. His testimony ends in a Chicago court. And it's Federer versus Djokovic in the French Open semi-final. Federer is the last man to have beaten Djokovic. Very recently, a cover story in a news magazine had got the grandnephew of M. Karunanidhi, Dayanidhi Maran, embroiled over a fresh 2G controversy. Following speculations over the circumstances in which Maran granted a license to Aircel in 2007, today the Chief Minister of the state, Ms. J. Jayalalitha, demanded the resignation of the former telecom minister from the cabinet for his alleged role in the allocation of the 2G spectrum. The allegation against Dayanidhi Maran is that Aircel, previously denied a telecom license for over 2 years, was finally given one only when its owners changed hands to Malaysia-based telecom major Maxis. The charge is that Maran cleared the decks only after a sister company of Maxis invested about 675 crore rupees in the Maran-owned Sun television network, which the BJP calls a conflict of interest.
With regard to the case of Dayanidhi Maran, I am quite sure the Prime Minister knows what should be done, and I am sure that he will do it. The Prime Minister should ask for Mr. Dayanidhi Maran's resignation from the cabinet. I am sure the Prime Minister will do it if he has not already done it. So Mr. Dayanidhi Maran should resign from the cabinet and face legal proceedings.
Well, the DMK leader has now rubbished the charges, and in a reaction to the fresh spectrum charges against him, he has said that the news reports are far from the truth and are malicious. He had never favoured any company over others, and that there was no loss to the exchequer during his tenure, and lastly that no telecom company invested in his brother's company while he was minister. Meanwhile, the Malaysian telecom major Maxis has come out with a statement as well, and I quote, "There was, in Maxis's knowledge, no pressure exerted on SVL to sell its stake in Aircel, and there's no linkage between Maxis's investment in Aircel and that of Astro's investment in Sun Direct Television." Meanwhile, the CPM leadership has also turned up the ante, mounting more pressure on Dayanidhi Maran. Prakash Karat joined Amma in chorus and demanded the resignation of the Union Textile Minister.
I came to meet Madam Jayalalitha after her assumption of the office of Chief Minister. This is my first visit to Chennai. Well, what I've seen of the issues which have been raised in connection with Mr. Dayanidhi Maran as Minister of Telecom regarding the allocation of licenses and spectrum, I think it requires a serious investigation.
Moving on, in a fresh appeal to the Prime Minister, Ms. J. Jayalalitha appealed for an increase in the allotment of kerosene in the state. In fact, demanding a hike of more than 20,000 kilolitres in the current allotment. Amma argued that there was a gradual reduction of the kerosene supply on a sequential basis, which was beginning to hurt. She also claimed that the demand-supply mismatch was hurting the public distribution system as well. So 2 weeks it has been since Ms. Jayalalitha took charge as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, but how have her days been so far? What are her priorities? She kept her deal with the media that she would meet them once a week, but what about her electoral promises? Our senior correspondent Peer Muhammad brings you this report.
There she is, Jayalalitha arriving to launch the free rice scheme, so that 2 crore families in the state get their monthly ration of 20 kilograms of free rice. And unlike the past, there was nothing extravagant or extra special about the function. Instead, we saw a simple and to-the-point kind of function, quite like the ordinary rice itself.
வீணான ஆடம்பரத்தை தவிர்க்க வேண்டும், வீண் செலவை தவிர்க்க வேண்டும் என்பதுதான் என்னுடைய நோக்கம். அதை நிறைவேற்றி வருகிறோம். என்னை பொறுத்தவரை தேர்தல் நேரத்தில் மக்களுக்கு கொடுத்த மிக முக்கியமான வாக்குறுதியை இன்று நிறைவேற்ற முடிந்ததை எண்ணி நான் உள்ள பூரிப்படைகிறேன்.
On the campaign trail, Jayalalitha has made another electrifying promise to both keep power cuts under control and generate more power. And with more fuel hike in the offing, the one question on everyone's mind is whether their electric bills would shoot up, especially amid reports that the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board has accumulated losses over 40,000 crore rupees.
எப்படிப்பட்ட சூழ்நிலையிலும் மக்கள் மீது இருக்கின்ற சுமையை அதிகரிக்க செய்ய மாட்டோம்.
Interestingly, no one is falling at Jayalalitha's feet, a habit her ministers and cadre had during her earlier tenures. In fact, quite the opposite seems to be happening. Jayalalitha is bending to the demands of her rank and file. Well, some of them at least.
இப்படி நகை அணிவதால் கழக உடன்பிறப்புகளின் உயிர் காப்பாற்றப்படும் என்றால் நான் எனது முடிவை மாற்றிக்கொள்ள தயார் என்று சொல்லி 14ஆம் தேதி முதல் நகை அணிய ஆரம்பித்தேன்.
She is accessible. She is ticking off the list of poll promises fairly fast. But the government has been in office only for 2 weeks, and many more challenges and promises remain. In Chennai with Peer Mohammed and camera person Kuti Raja, Natasha for NDTV Hindu.
Now, a day after the Central Administrative Tribunal, the CAT, quashed the reappointment of Latika Saran as the DGP, the state government has promised to look into the matter. At a press briefing by the Chief Minister earlier today, Ms. Jayalalitha said that the case will be studied well. In an appeal petition filed by Mr. R. Nataraj, the CAT ordered that the reappointment of Ms. Saran was legally invalid, following which the tribunal asked to consider him on seniority basis. As R. Nataraj has completed his term in office, the CAT's plans may not spell these days as his last few in the department.
We have yet to study it in detail. We will study it and then give our opinion.
Up ahead on the late night news, a cell phone a few centimeters away will keep the likeliness of the big C away. Come back in a moment from now for what the actual truth is.